seeing you, Mr. Potter.
Watermelon. Delicious. Watermelon. Delicious.
Perhaps this.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another Darachat. My name is to be or not to be. No, it's Daramouthe or Dara for short. Well, gonna wait for a bit. Gonna see if my guest will respond back. But I'm not sure if my guest will appear or not. So there's that for you. Other than that, though, I'm doing pretty good today. Today has been well, work was kind of boring. You know how it goes, right? You just want to get through your workday to get here. But the weather is getting nice. Obviously, it's a little chilly for my taste, but it is fall, so that is the end all be all for that. Um, 1 second. Sorry, I apologize. You know, family, right? But yes, so I'm not. Oh, there he is. There's the man of the hour. Goodness. But anyway, yes, today's been a great day so far. Uh, just because, of course, this weekend there, of course, Friday there's not going to be a pay it forward stream, family event, so that's going to be out the window. So anything Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, you won't hear from me. So maybe on Twitter X, but I will be trying to be present in family stuff. It's you get to spend time with family and whatnot. And I know there are some people who involve family in doing the content creation stuff. So there's that. And then, or it's just like a mishap. Like I've seen some people, like the kids kind of slick on by or something like that. It happens. But at the end of the day, I'm enjoying this so far. And though I'm not as, though I'm not on the big top up there or whatever you want to call it, I'm enjoying this little circle of mine right here. Plus, plus, oh, goodness sake, it's a fly. I need a fly trap. I've been having fly. I have a fly issue, and I haven't gotten a fly swatter for it. So it's been a fun time just trying to dodge and weave. But you know what? I'm working on my hook skills, so the fly can come at me, pow, pow, and do all that stuff. Don't know if that will translate into actual skills, but if it does, I can go to gym and be like, "How do you learn how to do that?" Pow, pow. Train with a fly. Pow, pow. It's a better teacher. Pow, pow. But yes, it's been that. But yeah, so telling you about, so this weekend, of course, I'll remind you up until the point for the Friday and all this stuff, because again, there will be no pay it forward for this week. Though I do enjoy doing them, but vacation, was it holiday and family event stuff? Those are the only two things that I don't do stuff for. I rarely, I mean, knock on wood or whatever you want to call it, to eat a Lucky Charm, whatever it is. I haven't really gotten any big sickness, so there's that. But it's good, nice to take a break once in a while. But of course, you know how that goes, right? If you're a YouTuber, the taking a break scenario can ruin your smart behind if you're not like putting stuff up. So it should be interesting of trying to put shorts. I've gone from doing shorts every day to once every 2 days, just because um, it was just a lot more work, and two, because it seems to work out a little better. Although not all shorts are created equal, and they all won't be as popular. So there's that. Um, but at the end of the day, though, it's not about it's truly not about the numbers. It's more about who I can connect with, who I can have on, and going from there. Oop, and he dropped out. I better make sure there's nothing wrong. Um, we'll try again. Hold on. Tech difficulties. Okay, he's having tech difficulties. Okay, let me know if there's anything I can help with. If nothing else, hold on. Sorry. If nothing else. Oh, okay. He's restarting XP. If nothing else, I have another way. Okay, yeah. So you're just having tech difficulties. Yeah, I know, no. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, see, we'll be on shortly. But where was I? Criminy. I've lost it now. It was the I had it in my hand, and then I dropped it on the ground, and then I picked it up again, and I still don't remember. But yeah, it's getting back to the family thing, pay it forward, and then of course, uh, showing off the rest of the week, rest of the month, obviously. Don't forget the rest of the people that are coming the rest of the month. Oh, I've got to reapply those. But anyway, that's what the rest of the months look like. I've got a check-in on one. And then, of course, next week I start hitting up people for next month. I already have a few people. I have a few people scheduled, but I have to input their stuff. So it should be interesting. And then, I have to head up for that, because I usually try to at least give myself a buffer. So if I give myself a week and a half buffer of people coming on, I'll be good. And again, like I said many times before, I don't have to fill those days. I could just literally do once a week or whatever and be done with it. But there are so many people out there, right? One person leading to another. And there's so many different opportunities of that regard, of having those people on and conversations and whatnot, that to scale back to that point now, just like once a week, whatever, would feel like I'm losing out on an opportunity on the people I've had. Yeah, it's been it can be a bit tiring, but I can't imagine how many of the people I've had on where it's just one thing after another of these people. Sorry. And so, I'm looking forward to it all, and of course, returning guests as well. But I can't. And then next month, of course, my news thing that'll be starting. Definitely will be giving more news once the 23rd comes around. I know I mentioned before the Rumble Squared, but I do want to give more stuff and the logo thing a bit. Um, but other than that, that's pretty much it. Let me check my guest. 1 second. PC coming back on. Okay, no worries. We'll be up shortly. Okay. Yay, there he is. Uncle Pudge in the chat. He's just having technical issues. But the man has been doing this for quite a while, so he knows what he's doing. But yes, and thank you, Uncle Pudge, for that. But yes, it's been an interesting time again. We're 3 months away from the new year, and to get this far from going from April till now it's a blessing in its own right, because I didn't even think I'd be right here. So there's that. Um, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. And of course, I don't, numbers and all that aren't the biggest, but at the end, it's about you guys, and it's about the people I have on, and the returning guests I have on, like Uncle Pudge and UB Legend and so many others. It's about the weirdness of what I can do with, not the weirdness, but the openness of conversation I can have with other people. And that's what I'm hoping to do also with Rumble Squared. But at the end of it, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But other than that, yeah, I'm looking forward to it all. And I'm hoping that, and I'll have success my way. Yep, there's your OBS.
Oh, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're trying to pick the camera, huh?
Yeah, it's being super duper gay. Why? It's funny. I was using my
yesterday, yeah.
Well, I was using it this afternoon, like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, so there's a weird thing where some cameras work and some cameras don't. It's more of when you're a guest on someone else's thing.
Yeah.
If you do your own, it's fine. I mean, you used it last time, it was fine. But when you're a guest on someone else's stream, it seems not to want to work. And you have you tried unplugging the camera you use and plugging it back in again while you're on?
Yeah, I just turned it off and turned it back on, and maybe that will make a difference, but it's not. Hold on just a second.
Okay, he'll be right back. There we go. Look at him.
There it is.
Yeah,
there it is, guys. Hey.
We're solving tech issues on the go,
guys, in real time on Rumble Studios, guys. Turn it off and turn it back on again.
Isn't that what they tell you in IT? Is like, have you tried turning the button on and off again?
That's right. If you ever seen that that show, the IT department?
Yeah.
That British comedy?
Yeah. Yep.
It's exactly what that is. What's going on, buddy?
Good. How are you, sir? You've been a pretty busy. Yeah, you've been a pretty busy guy.
Yep. Talking to brands on the behind the scenes, working on content behind the scenes to get up for the current brands that I'm affiliated with and sponsored by.
Yeah.
October's a crazy month because it was supposed to be the summit this month.
Oh, that's right. I remember.
That didn't happen, right? Because of the hurricane and all, which is cool. But I mean, that was like a whole week out of my month that got totally shifted. Which I'm sure everybody's did probably more than that for a lot more people. But then and then this month, my daughter gets married on Sunday.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, you don't even look that old, to be honest.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
That's kind of like you look like someone who's in their 40s, I would say, 30s or 40s.
Well, thank you. I am 36.
36. Wow. Wow. So that's wow.
Yeah. She's my stepdaughter. So.
Oh, okay. No, that makes sense though, because it's sort of like, okay, so counting down to 30, be like you had to have it at like 18 numbers or trying to.
Yeah, she is. Let's see. I used to I used to say it. Well, when she was younger, I used to say she is less years old than she was younger than me.
Yeah.
When me and her mom first got married, because she was like 11 or 12 when we first got married.
Right.
And so for the first 3 or 4 years there before she turned 15 or 16, you know, we were closer in age than she was old.
Yeah, that sort of reminds me of Benjamin Button, where
I know, right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, the main character is sort of on the middle way between the
Yep.
girl he met, and that was a weird movie in itself because the movie
Super
itself,
weird movie.
yeah, because it's based off a poem, I believe,
Mhm.
but it's not really exactly like the poem. It's sort of just
They never
based
are.
off. You know, that's
Yeah.
true. It's
Yeah.
true. Some movies are based on a true story, and it's like, well, about 10% is true. Everything else is sort of like we tweak it
Sure.
more.
Well, you know, they got to make it Hollywood, right? It's got to look good and be entertaining.
Yes,
That's
you
for
gotta get
sure.
all that money back, you know, all the
Yep,
money that
that's
was
right.
spent.
That's
Oh
right.
my goodness.
A
But
lot,
yeah,
man.
you're sort of like lumpy in the sense of making, doing the kind of brand deals in the back end because you guys kind of work that field a bit, both of you.
Okay.
More well, I mean, you guys are brands and all stuff because you like F3, I think it was, and then Grunt
Yep.
Style.
Yep. He brought them on for
Yeah.
sure. Yep.
And then you've been bringing on different sorts of people, like the CEO from what was it? The Flag, old Flag was it? The
Old
bank?
Glory. Yeah,
Old
yeah, the
Glory.
Old
That's right.
Glory guys. Yeah, they sponsor my Tuesday show, so that's nice.
Nice.
I've had several of their C-suite on my show
Nice.
on Tuesdays. It's been a lot of fun. I've had several of the Red Balloon C-suite people, the public square folks have come on the show. You know, I recently had Sarah Gable Seifert. She's the president and co-founder of Every Life Diapers.
Right.
And man, I've got some really fun brands coming on. The show coming up this month, I've got Pogs coming on at the end of the month. Like the OG Pogs, the little cardboard discs.
Yeah, little cards.
Yep.
My goodness.
So they're going to be coming on the show at the end of this month. So I'm really excited about that.
I'm just waiting for you to bring back Beanie Babies. That's all.
Fuck Beanie Babies, dude. I have so many Beanie Babies. I don't know if you know this about me, Dara, but I do eBay on the side.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, so I have so many fucking Beanie Babies, and nobody wants that shit. Nobody wants it. Anytime anybody is trying to sell you Beanie Babies at a garage sale and say, "Oh, you can make a lot of money on these on eBay," I just don't have time. They're full of shit. They tried it, and it's not worth anything.
Goodness sake. I mean, if you're gonna bring back Pogs, I mean that's a 90s thing right there. You didn't get then you get that and it's like, oh, it's not gonna work.
They had the actual function.
Yeah. Well,
like marbles.
Yeah, well that's all I remember them is like you'd like flip them or something like that. It's been
yeah, you know, you would stack them. You would stack them in these stacks like this, and then you would get this slammer, which was a metal coin, or you know, more of a solid, more denser coin.
Yeah,
you could slam it down, and then whichever ones were turned up or turned opposite of whichever way you stacked it. Some people stack them upside down, and then if they flip right side up, then you get them, and some people do it vice versa. So it just depends.
Yeah, it's because it's been a very long time, but I know people used to collect them for the graphic and stuff like that because there used to be different brands and different.
Yep, they were in The Simpsons.
Really?
Yeah, wow. They were in the episode of The Simpsons. So like that tells you the kind of their cultural significance at the time. Very, very popular. They were getting banned from schools. Much like fidget spinners. But definitely and also surprisingly, a lot of people actually don't know this, very much like kaleidoscopes.
Oh,
I don't know if you knew that about kaleidoscopes, but there were newspaper articles about kaleidoscopes that they were worried that they were going to destroy the children because all they would do all day long is look up in their kaleidoscopes all day long. And here we are in 2024. And what are they doing?
Cell phone
all day long.
So instead of looking up, they're kind of looking down.
Exactly.
So, man,
exactly right.
that's crazy.
I know.
But yeah, no, it's funny how much you can like. I don't, you 36, so you're much closer to age than I am. So you're
Yeah.
probably early 88 to be precise.
December
Um,
'88. Yep.
oh
Right
man, you're
after the wall came down.
oh wait, you're way after me then.
Yeah, I'm right. And so I'm 35, but the
Right.
year, if you go by years and how it lines up,
Yeah.
I'm 36 this year.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because literally my birthday is December 28th. So I'm
Wow.
like 3 days before the end of the year.
So it's like that's you're right. You're like in the 2 week section, right?
Yep.
You got the Christmas and all this stuff, and then you got the New Year's stuff, and then it's just like that sandwich of just.
Yep. Nobody knows I exist because, there was Jesus and then a new year happened.
It's like, come on, guys! I want my own holiday too. Can I
Right.
just get my own?
365 days.
How selfish can they be?
You couldn't have had sex a week ago? Dad.
Come on, guys! The clock is ticking. Get back in there.
Or waited a week?
Oh, wait a week. Delayed gratification.
I don't understand ovulation, so I can't really speak to
that. I'm just waiting for the show. What is it?
Oh, you're on YouTube. Sorry, I have to be careful.
No, you're fine. I don't care. I'm just waiting for the day you do sort of a health practice called Health with Pudge or something like that. You just gotta,
I'm thinking about how to format that name. It's like I don't know. Dr.
It's gonna be someone. It's gonna be you do Dr.
Podiatrist Pudge.
Learning life with Pudge. It's a part of life.
I'm
right
still
there.
thinking about that one. For sure.
Learning life with Pudge, chapter 1.
Yep.
All right, kids.
Papa Pudge. There we go.
Papa Pudge.
Paul Pudge.
There you go, Papa Pudge.
Disseminating wisdom.
Look, we're coming up with stuff. It's a real great brain session. This is what was going to happen in the first place anyway. Goodness sake.
That's right, man.
No, but that's the fun part right there of being able to do that. And no, don't worry about the YouTube stuff because honestly, I've had people drop the bundle of sticks word. So you're in good company. It's okay. I do not give a rat's behind. The problem of the thing of that's why I'm on multiple platforms is because if something were to happen on one platform, I'm not fully affected other than I'm not even monetized on YouTube to be honest, but I'm not affected if something happens because guess what? I'm on 2 platforms and my content is safe on the other one. So it's a funny thing where you see a lot of these content creators, and of course you're seeing this stuff with Twitch, right? And it's all its thing against its VTubers and whatnot, and then Kick with its stuff. You're seeing a lot of this dissemination where these people are just on one platform and one platform only. And I'm just like, I'm just going to point you a few things and I want you to just kind of go over them a bit and tell me if you think you should be on one platform because it's just not going to work out.
That's right. I mean, like if you wanna, I mean, I only make like video content. I only do this kind of stuff on Rumble. I don't do it anywhere else.
Yeah. And
it depends on what your goal is. Like, what do you want?
Yes. Yeah.
And you don't see me crying that I'm not getting. Because if I wanted more, what should I do? What should I do if I want more? I should make more.
Or figure out a different thing or experiment with what? Because for me, I didn't start doing this thing. I started gaming and then I did a movie review a few times or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, it's got to this conversational thing and I just went from there. But sometimes you have to experiment on what works well with you. You find you experiment to find your thing.
You got to find your niche.
Yeah. Because I think people get caught up in, I mean, if you enjoy talking about the current day of stuff, entertainment or whatever, that's fine. But at the end of the day, you've already got a line of other creators doing that. And so the dwindlingness of how to be differentiating from other content creators becomes a slim notion, because everyone's almost doing anything at this point. You've already got those.
Exactly. So like there is no white space anymore, right?
Yeah, it's very covered. You already have a bunch of people doing political stuff. You already have a bunch of people doing movie review stuff. You already have a bunch of people, and movie review stuff really is for me a difficult end, because they're giving you their perspective of the movie rather than just giving you a generalization. Because some of these people, movie review wise, and going to see a movie, some of them I've seen those movies and I enjoyed them. So you have that situation, and it's just. What can I say? Or TV show as well. But
yeah, well, and I think that it is super important to think about too, like you said, somebody else is doing it, and that is not dissimilar from like you just said, having a different perspective on a movie. So with that in mind, you can't let that get in your way. Just because you have a different opinion, just because you have a different approach or a different personality, like literally, it is okay to go watch a video on YouTube or Rumble and then make your version of that exact same thing. And it's not the same video because you made it. And it's got your touches to it. So don't get bogged down by, and I'm not saying go like copy everybody else's content. And it's not shitty to snipe people's content. Like that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that is how low the bar is.
Yeah.
Do anything more than that and you're good to go.
Yeah.
It's a great starting point.
Yeah, again, just like you were saying earlier, is finding what you want to do, because there's a lot of people who get burnt out by trying to keep up with the Joneses, basically, right? You're keeping up with and with the burnout comes that thing where you stop ending up. I mean, it doesn't matter what's you VTuber or whatever, but it just becomes a synopsis of why do you create and what do you expect out of it? Because if you're expecting all the positives that you get out of it, then you're really missing those negatives that are the building block challenges that one needs, right? Like I've had a few people on here who it's like trying to draw water from stone. But at the end of the day, though, I take those challenges like, okay, so that means I can get better at making stuff up on the fly and getting that conversation going, finding the gold nuggets, all that stuff. Because at the end of the day, there will be people who are either anxiety ridden or to some degree, or some weird fashion where they just don't talk very much at all, and you're just the one talking.
It happens, and you have to be able to not get nervous during those moments, and you have to be prepared for those moments so that you can carry or boost or promote or whatever it is that you need to do to be able to keep the show kind of rolling. I have to do that on my Tuesday show sometimes. The guests that come in are not people that are really great at talking to strangers or you have to be able to stimulate the conversation and be able to read the person. This is why it's good to know about your guests before they come into the show, so that you can say something relevant that empathizes you with them.
Yeah, no, I understand it too. Or sometimes there's something that pops up in the conversation, you go, aha, eureka, and all that stuff. And usually mostly rely on that. But then again, you learn a lot about a person when they're willing to speak about it, right? Sort of like that name tag thing where, yes, there's a name tag there and you could, just say their name because but there's a point of where asking their name is sort of like asking the permission of what's your name,
exactly,
all that stuff.
Intentionality.
Yeah, and you definitely want to open those doors of having those conversations, because we're at a period of point where it seems like we don't do that very much anymore, where we're not at the table conversing with other people. I'm not saying you want to converse with people that hate you, but I mean,
sure,
there are doors to be opened, so to speak. And all that stuff. But there was one thing I wanted to ask you. So over the weekend, I'm pretty sure you saw that Silver Fox thing, right? The video that came out with all that. What did you think about that? Or at least, did you watch the whole video, or did you see some part of it?
I watched all 22 minutes of it.
Okay.
So I, as an overall picture, I agree with the premise of what he was getting at. I appreciated that he mentioned that it wasn't about him, and I can believe that to be absolute fact about him, because I've met Fox, I've looked him in the face, I've shaken his hand. And he's truly not doing all of this because he needs Rumble. And time is the most valuable asset that we have as human beings. And for him to spend so much time investing in the community and in the platform and in the product, I think it absolutely gives him every right to say everything that he said. Sorry, I've been super sniffly today. I don't know why. I think I have cancer.
Changing the seasons too.
Yeah, that's true. So, a lot of us, I said this, I think last night on Mod Mondays.
Yeah.
That well, I'll preface with all this. There was a lot of frustration around what happened, how it happened, and the timing, all of it.
Yeah.
Because dozens of us have been saying all of those things.
Yeah.
Already for over a year.
Yeah.
You know, the Rumble Gamers community has existed. The Rumble Gamers handle has existed for over a year. Aegis did a phenomenal job of carrying the Rumble, especially gaming community. It wasn't necessarily like strictly a gaming community, but it was mostly gamers in the Rumble Gilded. So, you know, he built that. And so he kind of carried the community that had fallen apart after the Discord debacle.
Yeah.
And we often talked about on Mod Mondays and his streams and my streams and streams all over about all of the things that that Silver Fox talked about in his video.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were really frustrated with that.
Yeah.
Totally understandable. And this is the thing about serendipity. You just can't be mad about it. Like, you just can't be mad about it.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, Chris happened to be on his phone at the right time of day. The algorithm fed it to Chris at the right moment.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure he's more likely to see Fox's stuff because Fox and he and Fox have engaged for a long time on Twitter. He was early. He's put in a lot of work. He deserved the acknowledgement. I think I don't have any hard feelings against him for the acknowledgement. A lot of people do.
Right.
And that's okay. But the fact of the matter is what came out of that.
Right. Yeah.
And what came out of that was what looks to be the beginning of a solid strategy for the gaming community. And I think that that's a good thing.
Yeah. No, and I can understand that because when I had watched it too, well, preface it, he did make a post like the day before, and then he was gonna say, I'm gonna put a video out, and I didn't know how long the video was.
Because he knows how to do content. He understands.
Yeah. But
it was very smart of him.
Yeah.
It was very, very, very intuitive of him. Whether he knows it or not, it was very, very intuitive of him to prime the algorithm like that, to boost awareness for his video, because now people are looking for it. Anyways, that's like nerd I get into.
that's the SEO and all that stuff right there.
It is. I love it.
Let me draw you the graph that shows at this point right here.
Bro, don't get me started on graph.
I'm just waiting for you to get your pointer out and just like, okay, so over here we're gonna
start showing me views, impressions, and reach, then I might start drooling a little bit.
Please don't drool. That just makes it worse.
I know, right? Then it gets weird.
Pudge the drooler. That's not a really good name.
I do have overactive saliva glands, so don't judge me if I do drool a little bit.
So in other words, you're saying you're the Pavlov dog, right? You get the
exactly. I have that tattooed on my chest.
Oh, really? Jeez. Dang it, Pudge.
I don't. No chest tattoos for me.
Oh goodness. But no, going back to the video, I saw it as well. And there were a lot of things I could agree to because I'm not in the gaming community. I know it's been around for a while. I know you guys have asked a lot of stuff. And props to Rick for doing his job. Yeah, no, of course. And props to them for responding. But a lot of people have been frustrated up to the point because there are. If you were to go through the whole spectrum of people, whenever Rumble Video makes a post, you see it. Oh, and he's out. I think he accidentally exited himself out.
I did. I'm back.
Oh, I've had it happen before. No worries, but that was just
those side buttons get me every time.
I was like, oh, all right. Well, I guess that's the end of it.
No, you're good.
But oh crap, where was that? But no, and I know the gaming community has been a thing. They've been wanting to get that reach, especially because, right? Of course, there's a lot of things, right? When Rumble Video makes a update thing or talks about a post, whatever, the Twitter X, right? There are a lot of people that have issues or whatever underneath that, and Rick does kind of try to go through and get on them. But at the end of the day, though, you do have those things where that stuff is happening as well. And of course, like I understand, gaming has been trying to get things. Again, politics is a monolith right now.
Right.
And part of it is, well, the election season, right? We're having the whole Trump and Kamala and all that stuff. But the issue of it is it's always, at least from its staging point, has been an issue because that's the one excuse people will give for not coming to Rumble. It's like, well, why'd you come to Rumble? Oh, right-wing politics, all that stuff. It's like, oh, okay.
That's true. That's very, very true.
Yeah.
And you see it all over the place. That's everybody's main reason for not coming to the platform, because all they see when they open up, when they click rumble.com, it pops up the top live categories: news, Republican politics, trending news, podcasts, conspiracies, and then you see the picks like Glenn Greenwald, Donald Trump Jr., Right Side Broadcasting, and now we have a gamer in the top 5 every day. Sure. Right. But we didn't before, and then you have a conspiracy in there. Like, if you're looking for a certain demographic, then you really need to pay attention to what kind of content that demographic desires to watch.
Yeah. I will give them credit for it when they put the For You at the very top where picks used to be.
Yeah, so, I like the For You section. I do like that. But that doesn't do anything for new users that don't have an account.
Yeah. And I think YouTube does theirs where you pick a few things and they kind of follow the ratio. But you're correct.
I'm sure Rumble will scale to that point. Yeah, they just now put the implemented that algorithmic For You section.
Yeah, which I had said would probably be best because I'm not going to say it's me that brought it there. It's just saying I did say once, it probably should be at the top because editor picks is an issue in its own right, and part of it is the contractual stuff, right? Because there are people.
Yeah, exactly. You have to keep that in mind. So, like, all of these broad statements that I make, especially, you have to take them with a grain of salt and understand there are nuances to everything. I speak in absolutes, but nothing is in absolute. Truth is the only absolute, guys. So just take everything with a grain of salt with the things that I say.
Well, you have truth, and then death is also another absolute, but that's kind of getting to semantics of what we consider an absolute.
Well, I would consider death to be the ultimate truth.
That's true. But I get you. All right, you don't need to give me. You don't need to give me those.
You want to get a deep conversation?
Look, man, I've already been there. But
I got Pavlov's tattooed on my chest.
just waiting for someone to drop a dog treat saying, "Good job, Pudge. Good job."
It'll come in from behind the camera. Pudge waiting by the kitchen back there.
Like a robot arm is just like right there. So thank you.
Right. Yeah. That's right.
But in the video section, right, there were a lot of things I could agree with because I can understand the frustration, right? I talk to a lot of different people.
Yep.
Obviously, I've had over 100 different people. And the point of the matter is they do have their issues, and some of them felt like it wasn't getting answered. Like back when the second partner program was going on, a big chunk of it was not getting paid on time or the time they were told. And a lot of people belted from Rumble because of that. I'm not going to say all of it, but part of it was that, the getting paid for the supporter program, because they were told a certain date and it went over that certain date or dates, right? A line of dates, right? Like 8 to 14 or whatever the number was. And then they didn't get that, and then they belted off. And so there was issues with that. Part of it is the tech side, right? The tech upgrades. I know they're working on, what was it, the low latency thing is one thing and whatnot. I know a lot of people want different kind of upgrades. You see the gifted subs one. You see the I've seen people do like channel points or something like that. I don't know what that is per se, but I've seen that
Twitch thing.
Yeah, I've seen that go around, and a bunch of other few things too. It's just
I think that'd be a good idea, but that takes a lot more work than I think the people suggesting it might understand.
Yeah, and we can't just copy and paste from another platform because you can run into legal issues possibly. But I don't know how that works, so don't at me for that one. But my issue is that it is being part of it is being promised things that have taken a huge amount of time to get to, and because I think I remember someone saying that the latency thing was something that was talked about a long time ago, and now they're just getting to it, and so you have that issue where things are promised, but they're not getting to that point. And I think because I think what was it, Shorts was revealed not too long ago. Earlier this year by Chris. And it was a funny thing too, right? He did it. So, and this is just my perspective. He did it as a leak, but I'm like, you're a CEO and you're revealing it. So it's not really a leak. It's more like hyping up for the product. So I wouldn't really call that a leak, but that's just me. But the Rumble Shorts, yeah, of course. I would call them a Rumble Rush because there's really no technical name for it. I just call them a Rumble Rush when I post short content. And of course, YouTube has increased their shorts to be up to 3 minutes. So now I don't have to worry about 60 seconds.
And the shorts are counting towards watch hours.
Yeah.
And you can live in shorts.
Really?
Yep.
I'll have to look into that because I do both ends. But I think part of it is the tech side of upgrades. Now I know resources. Resources is a big one. Time is a big one. Manpower is a big one.
Sure. I get it. Yeah.
But
in the way.
Yeah. But I think people tend to get the angry factor, like you were talking about, the mad factor, and that kind of hinders there being a productive conversation rather than just an accusation conversation. I think that would be the best term, was like you're accusing anyone on Rumble that they're not doing their job or whatever, that sort of thing.
Right. Anybody that works there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, fuck you. You don't know. Like, you don't know. You've never met them. I've met them and I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys went down for the Creator House not too long ago. And I understand part of the issue of frustration was that too, was, I don't know if it was you or Cat Dog or Silver Fox, where you were mentioning that it wasn't covered on the main page of Rumble Video on Twitter X. Like,
well, that was in Fox's video.
Okay.
And I think we may have touched on it on the show last night, but it is. I think it's an important thing to talk about, especially when people are out here talking like, oh, everything was handed to these people. We paid every single penny. We didn't get paid to get there.
Right.
We didn't get paid to go there. There weren't computers there. There weren't tables there. There were not microphones there. There were not lights there. There were not cameras there. Jeez. There was nothing. There was a couch. There was a couch. and really nice beds. Beds were really nice. I'm not gonna lie, shit was fucking comfortable. But you know, we none of us, no, Rumble Actual did not tweet one single time about us being there while we were there.
Yeah.
Had there been, like a lot of us had said before the Creator House, had there been a handle for Rumble, like gaming on Rumble, before the Creator House, it would have blown up.
Right.
But they missed that opportunity. And but more importantly, like, nothing was handed to us.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we weren't contracted. We don't work for Rumble. We don't, you know, we're not out here, you know, having, Lumpy probably has the most conversations with anybody at Rumble than all the 6 of us combined.
Oh, okay. There's 6. I thought it was, I don't remember how many went up or down. But no, I'm not gonna disagree on that part, because I didn't go, and I of course wouldn't have been able to afford to be honest. But my issue is that I feel like there are sides that are missing information, and one side isn't telling very much, and the other side is just doing guesswork. So you have this instance where, yes, Rumble put out these upgrades; those are great. But where is the information they're getting their data from of what's the majority of your users want for the platform? That's what I
don't disagree with that. I think that the dissemination of data is something that they could really improve upon.
Yeah, and there was something that Chris had mentioned that I saw in a post, was that from their data he's getting, he really didn't see. I think it was during the Silver Fox video, he wasn't really seeing anything different, whatever. And that's when I say, okay, but what is the data you're seeing though? Because what you're seeing may not be what your creators and users are seeing. That's the issue right there. Because I think that's the disparity is between creating the platform creation and the creators and users who are using that platform. There's a disparity there. And yes, you can go to support and give all your feedback, whatever. But the problem of it is why isn't that thing on their platform for people to go to input that data, right?
You know why Chris isn't seeing that?
Why is that?
Because all you lazy fuckers won't get on Twitter and talk about it. Because he can only read data that is available. And if all you do is Rumble and Odyssey and some other shit that nobody knows or cares about or watches,
right,
and you're not on Twitter, then you're not contributing anything. You're not bringing any value, because you're invisible. And then you want to cry about it that you're not getting attention. I'm sorry, you're not playing in the same game as everybody else. You have to. And the reason that Chris isn't seeing that is he's going to the greatest source of information about the public in the world, Elon Musk. He has more information on the entire world than literally anybody else in real time, by being able to watch the data that comes in through Twitter. And because people are talking about certain things, this is why I tweet so much, because the more data, this is why I tell people to like and comment and use emotes, because the more data you input, the more likely it is you're going to get seen.
Yeah, and also the matter of getting things fixed, like the Sarge, Mr. and Mrs. Sarge issue where their channels got bumped or whatever. It was a bug that was eventually what was said. Same with me with the Rumble, the number 1 and number 2 tier of the Rumble rants disappearing, and me having to say something on that as well. You're not wrong on the part of going to Twitter X and having it seen, but my question is, why isn't there a place on Rumble to input that bug feature, feedback, whatever? Because in essence, Twitter X is a competitor to Rumble on this regard. To a degree,
they're not at all in the same vertical. I wouldn't I wouldn't put them at all in the same vertical.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that that Rumble is much more of a content platform than Twitter, and Twitter is a social platform. And I think there are important nuanced differences in those two different types of platforms.
Yeah, and I can understand Dashboard's thing is Rumble has no effective method to collect VOC data that I'm aware of. VOC is voice of the customer. It's a primary performance metric and it's key to measuring successes against Rumble's goals. Which stupid.
Yeah, outside of the support email, I don't disagree with that. There is no active, for sure. There's no active or public area where users can voice their concerns.
Yeah,
and this is something that I've been really vocal about too. The fact that there's no consistency in the communication on social platforms. For Rumble, I've been very, very vocal about the poor communication skills that Rumble has. I don't just praise Rumble all the time.
Yeah. I've said many times where I've said, I will praise Rumble when it does well, but I will also admonish when it does poorly. And for some portion, they have done poorly on. And part of that is the communication factor. Now, I'm not going to sit here and bash people in the head, who worked there, because I've had on, someone who works at Locals. And right. I've talked to Rick a few times, so I'm not going to just bash him in the head. But my thing is that there is a communication factor where, again, the disparity between the platform itself and the users and creators on that platform, right?
Yep.
Same thing with the whole political stuff, right? I mean, we've said it 1,000 times over. Hey, got to get your stuff situated. That's not just politics, because otherwise people won't use it. You've got to. That's what the recommendation engine and personalization engine was about, right? To get those other sources going. And yes, we can say all day long, we need more people on there making different content. That's great, but it's a catch-22 moment, right? Recommendation engine, content need to be made to do it. It's got to be both at some point, because there's no way to get around that. And catch-22s are not a fun ordeal, believe me. They're a paradox in their own right.
That's right.
But I'm not gonna. But again, I'm not gonna be here. I'm not gonna be like those people. I'm not gonna, bash Rumble in the head. But I do want to take. I want to take the data, right? I want to take the voices, like Dashboard saying. I want to take the voices of people who use the platform or are interested in the platform, and I want to take those and I will put that data out there. And I want to show. I'll tag Chris. I'll tag everyone. And I will show this is what part of your community, your users and creators want with their platform. When can we at least see at least one or two things off this list, right? When can we see? When can we see? What's one? I know I won't do the latency because I know they're working on that. So that's
and it's out. It's out in beta. Rollout is going to be slow, and this is people are so funny. Like I've been making content on the platform since like April or May of last year to 2023, less than 2 years. And to look at what the platform looked like then,
yes,
and its functionality then, 18 months ago, is, I mean, it's not just night and day. This is two different solar systems.
Yeah,
like of a platform. So I'm not sure what people are talking about. Oh, it takes so long to come out. You said it in January. It's October. Oh my God! Don't you have anything else to do but make the thing that I want?
Yeah. That and
people get on my nerves when they whine about shit.
Right. And it's funny because you had Rants on Mod Mondays once, and he's been on since the beginning of it. So he's seen the whole difference, and that was a whole nother beast back in 2013.
Yep. It wasn't even the same platform. It was nowhere close to what it is now. No. You want to talk about somebody that's got patience.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is patience that passes all understanding. That's the patience that only the Holy Spirit can give you guys.
Yeah.
So if you want to be patient like Rance, then you need to get to know Jesus.
Yeah, I'm patient too, but I will call out when needs call out. Well, as far as I know, Rumble has around 160 people working for it, as far as I remember someone telling me.
Okay.
For the total, I'm not sure if that's a combination of locals and Rumble, because again, Rumble owns locals. But as far as I know, it should be around 160 people.
Sure.
So however that works out, but it does feel in a sense, again, communication factor, and it does feel like they're not strategically upgrading. They're rather just up and down, upgrading, because again, that goes back to data collection of what does the majority of users, creators on your platform want to use and go.
Sure. Yeah. Right. So
Yeah.
I know that makes perfect sense. So, we are looking at that data from inside the data.
Yeah.
They are looking at the data from above the data. So I think they have a much bigger picture of what the whole conglomerate of data is telling them. Just from Rumble, and then on top of that, any other places that they're getting data from, and aggregating that or evaluating through that data, whatever that means. All I'm talking about in this particular context is that Rumble from data. They're looking at it from a 30,000 foot perspective, whereas we as creators and users are all of us are on the ground. We're not Rick. We're not Mario. We're not Tim. We're not Jen. We're not Chris. We're not Bongino, who is going into the office. He's looking at these numbers from the top down. So, you have to remember that as you're criticizing the strategy, you're only looking at it from inside the mechanism. They're looking at it from outside of the mechanism. So, I can empathize with the idea that it's confusing to see what they're doing, because me and Mrs. Pudge talk about this all the time, things that frustrate us about the platform and what they're doing, and this just doesn't make any sense. But then you have to remember that it doesn't make sense to me and to what I think the strategy should be. But they have a much bigger strategy going on, and I think part of the reason that it's easy for people like me and Fox and Lumpy and Aegis and Rance and all of these other creators that are patient, it's because we believe in the builder and not necessarily the product itself. It's the jockey versus the horse. I believe in the jockey. The horse doesn't matter. The horse can trip and fall and break its leg, but the jockey is what's going to make the difference on the horse.
Right, especially if they're 3'11". But no, that would. So there was one thing I saw that came out of that whole ordeal, was the once a month with Lumpy and Silver Fox that Chris would be on with, and
that'd be cool.
While I don't agree on gaming being the next monolith, because again, you have politics as a monolith, and if you're only going to work on gaming, then that's going to become a monolith too, and so on and so forth. But it does give an opening for there to be an honest and open discussion with Chris to kind of get a better idea of from that point, like you were talking about, they see from far above, we don't. So maybe there could be a clarification, maybe they could be understanding without giving too much away, right? Because there's those NDAs, those trade secrets, all those stuff, because you've been in the business, so there's those things you can't talk about to your audience. Right. But there could at least be some sort of form of clarification on things that could help in understanding a bit better more, because the more you leave people in the dust, and I'm not saying this is foolproof, right? Because you could tell them all, enough, and they'll still throw knives at you. It would be interesting for What? Fox had to be coaxed from leaving twice since I've been here. What? Fox had to be coaxed from leaving twice since I've been here? What? I don't know what that means. You talking about Fox TV or what? Or Fox News? Because I'm not sure what he means by that. But hello, Sass. But yeah, it's just it would be nice to have that sit down conversation, not in any negative sense, but trying to understand from our end to their end and so forth and so on. Because then that way,
what do you want to know?
What do I want to know? Okay, so what is their roadmap like? No dates. You don't have to give me dates, but what is their roadmap going towards? What's the next upgrade they want to get done or do, or what's the data they're seeing that says you need to do this upgrade next? Because a lot of people are asking a lot of things, right? One's asking for this over here, one's asking for gifted subs over there, one's asking for channel points here and all this stuff. So what's the total of the data you see showing you which is the next upgrade you should do, right?
So the next question is why, and this isn't necessarily you, Dara, why, this is the person that might be asking those questions. What makes you think you deserve the answer to those questions? Like, why should anybody spend time to break that down for you? What value does that bring? That's not like, who the fuck are you, but what value comes out of that conversation?
What is the value of a platform with no users or creators?
That's not an answer, though.
It's a lead to an answer, though. What is the value?
There isn't any.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that's not a real answer.
Well, if you let me go down that road, I will try to get there. So you have a lot of people who have been disbanded, frustrated, and all this stuff of certain actions that have happened in the past, one of which could be the partner program, right? Like that was just a bad situation all around. And we saw that, right? Whoever was in charge of that, whatever.
Sure.
Then you have stuff with the communication stuff, right? The Discord, right? When Rumble did have its own Discord, and then you had that whole shebang that got it shut down. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be here supplementing or agreeing with the trolls, because I do believe there are people who push it too far instead of having a open conversation, right? Which is what will kind of work better, rather than just saying it's your fault, it's all your fault, whatever. At the end of the day, though, yeah, you could say, oh, what are you to us? We can just simply go somewhere else. Yes. And what is just having...
Keep in mind that I was very clear that is not the statement that I made with the question that I asked.
Right. But I mean, with just having just it being a focus on, or what people see mostly of just politics, right? Having the understanding of where you want to go with this, right, in the platform itself, could help in people trying to get past that point. Because again, majority of people I've talked to, majority of people I've seen talk to, see it as just another political place, or place for the political downtrodden, if you will, right? The people who are banned or whatever, talking about the stuff, and it is. We've just talked about it earlier, where we agreed that the front page, you go to the front page, basically just politics at this point. So the question of what you're asking is what is the point? What does it matter? What does it matter?
What value comes out of the conversation of Chris breaking down their roadmap to everybody?
Because it helps people understand better where they want to go with it. Because right now we don't know. We're just looking at like you said, we're looking at it from the ground floor. We don't know where they're at. We see them do this over here. We see them do that over there. So what are we supposed to suggest it as in what's the next step?
But right? Other people are doing it.
Well, are you talking like other platform people, or
no? Other people on Rumble are successfully navigating the environment.
Yes, but also have been accused of what was it? Well, some have been accused of favoritism, but I'm not going to agree with that sentiment.
Sure, accusations don't matter; they're still making it.
Yeah,
and we'll not include in that group of people. We'll not include the people that have contracts. Yeah. And the people that are favorited. We'll play devil's advocate there, and we'll will assume that it is true that Rumble favors certain creators that are not contracted, and they advance those creators above others on purpose. We'll assume that's true. Those people are not included in this question, and the people in the contracts are not included in this question. There are still people successfully navigating the platform with the information that is available.
How many of those are more political than gaming or else?
I don't know. That's a great question. But that's not the point.
It's still a data point, I would think.
It's a data point, but it's not a data point in the conversation we're having. People are successfully navigating the platform. They're doing it on art. They're doing it on Homestead. They're doing it on post-produced content. They're doing it on political. They're doing it on all different types, on podcast formats that are not political. They're navigating it. They're doing it.
I thought, well, post-production would be part of the recommendation factor, right? Because before then, they really weren't getting noticed, the pre-recorded videos, as far as I know. So without that faction, they weren't really getting well noticed. But yeah, you're right in the sense of they could direct their traffic there. It still was just not as noticeable or seen by too many others because of the not having that recommendation. But who? I don't know what they mean by who. But the value. Okay. Well, I mean, the value is going to be in what both sides can provide for each other, right? Because I mean, again, if you don't have
what can that begs a great question, Dara.
Yes.
If there is strategic value in me, the CEO, sitting down, or maybe not the CEO, but me the CEO, designating a team or someone individual, designating dollars and time and resources into making sure that all of these people who may or may not end up bringing value, most of them are not, 99% of them are not, of us are not going to win, right? Are not going to be the best. So 99% of the people that you're doing this for are not going to be bringing actual value to the ultimate product. So all of these things that I'm dedicating to bringing you value, what are all of you doing to bring me value besides being a user or creator?
Now, can I ask on the definition of value? Is it the monetary value or eyes value or being seen value? Is it
ubiquitous value? What are you going to bring me? It could be monetary. Are you going to bring me brands and advertisers? Are you going to bring me users? Are you going to bring good content? Do you make good content? Have you put in the work? Do you have a resume? Do you have a portfolio? Do you have connections? Are you networking? Who are you? Do you know people? Like, are you actually building something that is going to contribute to the longevity and success and optimize the efficacy of what Rumble is actually trying to do? Or are you just out here trying to get a bag?
So I'd probably just put that down to, are you hungry enough? Is basically what it sounds like. Are you hungry enough?
Sure.
To the platform? Well, I can get that too, because you said a lot, but in the slightest of it, it's just putting down, are you hungry enough in creating content? Otherwise, it'd be like, okay, so I have this one thing.
Well, that's not the premise. The premise is, what are you bringing Chris? And each one of us has to ask that.
Right.
If I am going to demand that the Rumble the brand, take time and resources to bring me value, then I first should bring 51% of the value. And if you're not, just keep your mouth shut. If you could do more, then do it. If you're doing everything you can, awesome. But
does that mean they can't question?
You can. You sure can. I do it all the time. And back to me talking about the poor communication skills and the poor consistency across social platforms that Rumble has. I pay attention. I have been working in the industry for a long time, and I follow all of the platforms. I know where they are everywhere. All of them. TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, Reddit, everywhere. I'm everywhere. So I know what's going on. I'm putting in the work. I'm commenting everywhere. I'm putting in the work. And just like Fox has put in the work, it gives credence to be able to give critiques. There's a very fine line between critiques and complaining. Most of these people are out here complaining.
Right. Constructive criticism is what I always call it, because you want to be on a more.
It's not always that though.
Right. Yeah. There's more. There's a complaining, the negative factor versus the positive factor, and I can get that too. So the asking of what value you're going to provide. Well, let me ask you this: Are creators in any sense on any other platform value to those platforms, or are they just a waste? Would that be just not going off that point, right? Just kind of scooting off that point for it. Are people on other platforms that are creators or users, are they of value at all to those platforms?
Not inherently.
Hey, what do you mean by that specifically? Like, is it just
because you exist there doesn't mean you're valuable on the platforms?
Okay. So in that essence, it doesn't matter where you go, or actually it would
that's not what that means.
What?
You gotta fucking work.
No, I'm just saying in the essence of multi-platforming, right? So I could multi-platform other platforms, and if something happens, it doesn't matter. I don't have to care about them either, because that's a two-way street, right? If they don't care about me, I don't have to care about them, and I can just jump off ship.
No. Incorrect.
How so?
If you want to grow, you have to care. It doesn't matter if they care about you or not.
Right, yeah.
It doesn't matter if Rumble gives a shit about you as a creator or not. If you want to be successful as a creator, shut your mouth, stop complaining, and create.
Right.
You can pick one platform to do that on. You can pick multiple platforms to do that on. You do it however you want. But if you're complaining, then you're wasting time that you could be creating. I don't believe in complaining under any circumstance. Nobody, none of us, not a single fucking person that sits in front of a screen and streams on this platform has any right whatsoever to complain about anything.
Or any platform, right? This platform or any of the platforms.
Right. Shut up. It's free to stream. It's free to tweet. It is free to post. And you can, on Rumble especially, start making money day one on your ads, on your monetization. Boo-hoo, you don't get a lot of money from your monetization right away, and it takes time and work and investment. Weird. It's almost like good things take hard work.
Right. Yeah.
Strange.
It's a two-way street. But before we go any further, it is past the top of the hour. And it's been a while since you've been here, but you know what? At the top of the hour of your, I said it's time for us to promote ourselves. And so I did drag over the stuff I had last time of the links you gave me, so they're down there. But if you want to sell yourself like the professional you are, the floor is yours. Because I mean, you kind of are. You've been in this business, so.
Well, I would never, ever, ever insult professionals by associating myself with them. But
smug as he is.
That's exactly. Dara, I appreciate you bringing me on, dude. I am
for giving your time.
The official uncle of Rumble here. That is donned by Rick himself. He crowned me the official uncle of Rumble. And I can produce content on here 5 days a week. I usually have 7 to 13 streams in that 5 days between podcasts, Mod Mondays, Practical Pudge, and my gaming content that I do 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. in the mornings, and then sporadically in the evenings with team ups like doing tanks with Amish, and we've got the Rumble Halo tournament coming up or event coming up. That's
Friday.
A lot of fun, I guess, for other people. But I'll play. But guys, I love doing what I get to do every single day, whether that's playing video games or coming on shows like this and having conversations with you guys. So I really appreciate you, man, having me on.
Cool. Yeah, you give me your time in doing that. Of course, I'm not as fancy as you are, but no, I appreciate it. Pudge was on your show. What the hell? Oh no, but yes, and his links are down below in the description because there are only 2 links. There's only his Twitter, X, and Rumble, so those imply. If there's more,
doesn't matter.
Yeah, the only ones that matter.
You can find me literally everywhere else from those 2 links.
Yeah, pretty much. And of course, he runs Mod Mondays with Aegis, so we don't want to forget that because then he'll feel left out.
That's right. He gets 3/5 every week. Yep. PudgeTV is an EEOP, by the way, an equitable employment opportunity provider.
So that means he gets his reparations after a certain point.
Exactly right. Yep. He has to wait 10 to 15 days after I get paid.
Some things never change, and the chains.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. I got to pay him, but I don't have to pay him right away.
Don't watch your show wages. Anyway, whether you're on Rumble, whether you're on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind liking, sharing, following, or leaving a comment, because again, the engagement factor helps to be seen more, but it also leads to having more people on, like Pudge, like UB Legend, of course, not like Fuse because he never answers or replied back. But I've had so many different people on. You've seen like Christian Sass, who's on the YouTube side, so many other people, and without that engagement, it kind of makes it hard because again, you have to build up credibility because that's part of it, right? You build up your credibility through networking and all that stuff like we talked about earlier. But yes, any help with the engagement is much appreciated because again, I look forward to, and I'll show you what my schedule looks like. Oops, that's upside down. But that's the rest of mine in a month right there. All those different people, some returning, some new. So have that as you will. But yes, the engagement helps with that because again, the credibility does help with that. And also, if you want to find out where it's at, there's a link down below. Twitter X, I have a Discord thing, mostly for DMing, email, and then of course my links to YouTube, Rumble. And again, if you guys want to take up the opportunity to come on, you can either leave a comment on YouTube or Rumble, or you can go to that link down below on either end and find me the rest of the way because guys, I'm looking forward not only to the rest of this month, but also next month as well, because I'll be starting my own version of a roundtable for Rumble. So there will be that. And we'll see how that goes. I'm no professional like the man sitting next to me, but I will try. I definitely will try. Yeah, he looks off in the distance, but he knows I'm talking about him. Hey, Half Pine, how you doing? What is he talking about? Well, the show on the 29th is going to suck. I definitely want to watch tonight. I don't know what it means by the 29th. Or is that your Halo game? On the 29th. I have no idea. I don't know what you mean at Half Pine. But yeah, no, and that's why I have these discussions to have those hard questions because again, we don't, you've been in the industry and so those hard questions they're going to ask. So to ask those questions to other people who've never been in that position or sat down in those meetings, right? Because I'm pretty sure you've had to wear a suit at least once in your life.
Couple of times, yeah.
Couple of times. Pudge in a suit, that'd be something right there.
Hey, it'll happen this Sunday.
Oh.
Yep. At my daughter's wedding.
Oh, well, that's a little different. That's not a business meeting. That's a family thing. That's a little different. That's true. A little different. Just don't make your tie polka dot or whatever.
Right.
29th is me. Oh, okay, that's right. You're on the 29th. I don't. You've confused me up. I always thought you was talking about him. Goodness sake. But no, I do think those kind of questions have to be asked, and I think some ideas have to be challenged. But that's the conversations that should be had as well, because we don't get that on the ground floor, right? Or at least not with the experience that you have. We don't get that, right? And that's why you see a lot of the complaining, a lot of the would I say vitriol? Would vitriol be a good word? Vitriol, the negativity and all that stuff. And for me, I just want to do things in a more positive, forward-thinking sense, because when it comes to sitting down and having the conversation about whatever and trying to learn, right? Yeah, you're right. They could give a care. They don't have to give a care about me. I don't have to give a care about them. Just care about making my content and moving forward. Yeah, that can be the case, and that's the thing you have. But then you have these weird things with content creators, like the YouTube situation, right? Where you see all these content creators, they're just on YouTube, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, I've been demonetized. Oh, I've been this, I've been that." I'm just like, but you do stuff for Google. That's what YouTube is. So while I get it, and the situation of where they go onto Twitter X to do all this stuff does sometimes work, sometimes doesn't.
Sure.
To bring on the full complaint and not put themselves out there more kind of hinders their argument a bit.
Sure.
But I'm not here to have arguments. I'm here to have conversations with wonderful people like Pudge himself, until he kind of beats me over with more information, like you should have done that. So then my question is, so say I've gone to this meeting, right, and I'm trying to person on the ground level, right, going up there. I'm ground level, right. I've been given the opportunity to go up to them on the top floor, which is what it feels like, the penthouse, whatever you want to call it. So how would you, not maybe coach, I wouldn't say coach, but how would you test me on saying, okay, so these are the questions they're going to ask you. So, how would be the best way to approach those things? Because again, that's a different way of thinking, right? That's a business way of thinking, where most of these people on here I'm not even business minded. So you're going to have a lose on me. Hey, dashboard. So my question to you is, what, if they're given the opportunity to have that conversation, what should they be trying to do to better themselves to have that conversation, right? Are they to bring data? Are they to bring credibility of numbers? What is the best way to go about that?
Well, it's kind of this oxymoron, because if you have the information you need to ask the question that you're talking about asking, then you understand that you don't need to ask that question. Because what you essentially just said to me is, these are not business-minded people. How do they become business-minded people so that they can ask business-minded questions?
Right.
They have to become business-minded people, and then they will understand some of the things that are happening in and around Rumble. And they've got 250 people running 9 different products between Truth and Locals and Cloud and Rumble and Studio and all and the other stuff that they've got going on that I can't even name off the top of my head right now. They're very busy people.
Yeah.
So they don't have time to sit down and lay out to us what their plan is. So it is our duty. And this answers your question. I'm not rambling on past the question. This answers your question.
Right.
It is your duty as the creator to as informed as possible, with the understanding. And I only put this context in here because people will comment and they'll be like, but this and but that, and you're like, oh, you sound like this and you sound like that. I'm like, oh, he just says work harder and he doesn't blah blah blah, whatever.
Right.
That's I've been there.
Right.
I've had the jobs and not been able to record and do the things that I enjoy doing. I get it. I can do that now because I fucking worked for it. Anyway. I'll go off on it.
I'm waiting for was it a Jerry Maguire moment?
Yeah, right. But So again, like I said at the beginning of the show, I speak in these absolutes, but understand to take it with a grain of salt and that there are many nuances to all of these things. So with that being said, it is our job as the creator to create. Just like we, these same people that will do what we're talking about, they're the same people that will whine about movie stars having opinions on politics. It's no different than what you're talking about here. It's movie stars having opinions on politics. We are creators on the platform. Yes, again, I'm not even going to address all of the questions that come up about the nuances, because there are nuances.
Yeah,
I get it. Don't just go blindly into anything. You're not, unless you are, you're not retarded. So
thanks.
Don't act like it. Don't ask stupid questions. Well, we should just do whatever Rumble tells us to do and not care.
Right.
Shut up.
That's like a pretty good impression, though.
Thanks. I mean, I felt retarded.
They say practice makes perfect, but I don't know if I should say that to you.
Well, you can tell I've been practicing for 30 years.
That makes you an old man. Anyway, but no. And Half Pine says, I don't mind if movie stars have opinions of politics. I mind if people treat their political opinions as gospel. That's true. That is very true. Or it's like treating it as like a religion or whatever. And you do see that, right? And of course,
you do. I get it. Sure.
But yeah, there is that line of thinking where we're not on the same level of line of thinking because we're not on a business minded factor. I think the closest, I think the closest I can point to of where you could get as close enough to understand business minded is Trump's The Art of the Deal, right? If you've ever read that book, part he gives
you can read books about push-ups. That's not going to get you abs or muscles,
right? That has to be put into practice though. But he does give good ideas of think big, right?
Yep.
Think
you
big.
Can read books about how to do push-ups.
Right.
That you can do for sure.
Yeah. But of course you have those what celebrity people push their books as well. So there's that too. Talk about celebrities. But no, that's always an interesting conversation to have because yes, I'm not business minded. I'm thinking on the ground floor. But that's where most of the business happens anyway, other than the in the sense of that's where the normal everyday stuff happens. Where in the business world, you could have backhanding, you could have all the stuff. There's a lot there that's can be a bit conniving depending on where you do your business, and doing business with a lot of different countries can do that, unfortunately. And Half Pine says there's so much dodgeball style team mentality too. We got the celebrity, and all they have is that celebrity toddlers are toddlers. A lot of them. Well, I mean, people could point to Congress and say that too, but ice is only ice until it melts. It's always water, though.
Sure. It is always water.
Oh goodness, but yeah, no, I definitely thank you at least for that conversation because again, I don't know, and the only way you can know is being willing to take the step and say I don't know, and then go from there, right?
It's okay not to know. It's okay that you don't know. You person complaining and whining and spending all of that time bitching on Twitter and not creating content. It's okay that you don't know what's going on in somebody else's business that has provided you with a free, high quality platform to disseminate information and build a business on.
Right.
Okay, if you don't know all the fucking ins and out of that.
Yeah, especially when they can feel one way and do another sort of thing, right?
They could. They don't. Rumble, Chris doesn't have to do this. Nobody's asking him to do it. Like, he just did it because he believes in it.
And he just came out.
He provides it for free for all of you. In free.
Well,
there's ads.
Free for us, but it's sort of the same thing like with Rumble Studios, right? It's free for us, but it's not free for them. That's the
Well,
basic
I mean,
drawback.
it's all about perspective.
Yeah, that's perspective.
It's not free for us because I've been streaming for 12 hours today. It cost me a lot of time with my wife and kids.
Yeah, that does
You
suck.
know,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are spending time with their wife and kids and not making money, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, perspective.
all of it's okay. Just don't fucking complain about it.
Yeah, it's all
Stop complaining.
Yeah, it's all a choice too, right? The difference between
That's
making
right.
money. Yeah.
Choose different things.
Mm-hmm.
You choose different things. If you don't like Rumble and what it's doing and how it's treating creators, go find a better platform that will treat you better. If YouTube will do it, go do it. Prove it.
Yeah.
Prove that the CEO of any other content platform will engage in the conversations like Chris Pavlovsky has.
Yeah, that is true. You won't see that from YouTube. Obviously, that's a given. The Twitch one is a bit iffy because he's an old guy, so I don't know about that. I do know that the Kick one though has engaged with its people to some degree, but Kick is backed by
close to what Rick and Mario and Tim and the whole team at Rumble have done. Especially now with the when we're talking about specifically gamers, with the implementation of the channel and the handle and the engagement that they're seeing there.
Yeah, and that basically, I think the day of, right, it jumped the gaming to like 2.K viewers or whatnot on the.
It was at 5,000 at like midnight on the first night that they made the handle.
Oh, well, I only saw it at one point in time, but yeah, at points like I know Pudge isn't talking directly to me, but why do I feel like it's because he's a dad.
You know that does happen. I do have that voice that really digs down and is like, I may not be saying Dara, but you feel it somewhere in your body, and it may not even be this whole situation. It's just somewhere in your body.
Right.
You're being entitled and complaining about something, and you feel bad about it. That's the Holy Spirit, son. Get Jesus in your body.
Billy Graham's back on again. No, but I don't take it personally because I've dealt with people who, like, there's a gentleman from the UK who I've had on. He has a very dry sense of humor. The UK has a very different sense of humor than us. But I don't take it personally because it's not about me. It's about the context within the conversation. I'm not here to attack Pudge. Never. I'm not here to attack Chris or any of that. I'm here to attack the conversation, what's in the conversation rather than the people. Because when it becomes a personal thing, like a personal butting match, that's when you lose the conversation at all. Right? You see that with the whole political thing and all stuff. Once you start attacking like, oh, Pudge has a big nose or something like that, that's when you lose the whole conversation. No, you don't. You don't. I didn't mean it like that, but still.
No, why you went straight for my nose?
It was right on your face. That's what I went for.
It is right there, isn't it?
But Dashboard says exactly. Rumble's mission is to provide the platform and marketing the creators to produce great contents and grow viewer base. Yeah. Not many at all. Okay, and praise the Lord. Amen.
Wow.
You convinced them to be.
I've been in black church this weekend.
Amen. Praise the Lord. Can someone get a Bible so we can bring it to life?
Somebody heal me, Jesus.
I just waited for you to do that just one day. You're just doing that all day. It's like, you've come to my channel to feel the Lord and to feel the game in power. Let's play.
That's right.
Pudge and prayer. That should be another episode right there. Just Pudge and prayer. Oh, goodness. Now, past that collection. There's no collection plate here, but if you're willing to give a rant.
Yeah, right.
No, but yeah, it's and again, it's about for me, I feel it. Don't get me wrong, I feel that energy, but you have experience behind that too. So it's sort of like the lion against the mouse sort of moment, right? But the point of the matter for me is I'm not here to take it personally in that regard. You're not here to, butt slap me, as it were. You're here to try to teach me something in a way that you know, but I may not know. And so that's the point of why I ask these questions, or at least from you, because I don't, on the basis of your experience, I don't really know anyone else per se. But my thing is to do that, because again, how can you get past your own bias, right? Because we all have biases, right? How do you get past your own bias in the way of your thinking, right? How do you open yourself to different ways of thinking and maybe learn something from it, right? Because it's again of the negative aspect, right? You could, as you see many times, or on any different platform, right? Oh, the low viewers. Oh, why isn't anyone coming to watch me, and all this stuff. He said, just create the content you're having fun with and keep going, right? If it stops you from creating it, then you've made your choice. I don't want to do whatever. Oh, thank you for the collection plate. Oh, goodness sake. It wasn't my collection plate though, but thank you anyway, good sir. But yeah, you see that all the time, not just on Rumble, but Twitch and YouTube and all stuff, where people complain of not having enough viewers. Not all, but some. And the thing of the matter is I come at this, say, well, I mean, why are you coming into this thing? Why are you even creating content in the first place, right? Forget it being the free platform, forgetting all this stuff. Ask the question, why are you coming here to create? Why do you want to create, right? Is it to create because you want the monies, you want the views, you want all this stuff? Or do you want something within yourself to kind of come out and show? Like for me, I had to come to this point through different obstacles to this conversational point. And I can't tell you how well it's gone. I'm not going to sit here and, be egotistical about it, but I'm going to say I've met a lot of people through this, you including. And I get to talk to a bunch of different people. Yeah, you may have bigger numbers than me. Yeah, you may have people may know you more than me. But that doesn't matter though. At the ground level, we're all human at some point. And that's why I do this, because there's so much to talk about, and it doesn't have to be about politics or video games or movies or whatever. It can be about whatever we want. And we just went through an hour and a half of learning something, even though Pudge could be a scary guy when he wants to be. Yeah. I'm not afraid. Write down your goals, people. Yeah, it's not just that. It's just it's just asking yourself why.
You have to manifest it. Write it down, make it physical, print out pictures, write it on your mirror, say it every day, manifest it. That shit's real, guys.
Yeah. I manifest it by how many people I get to have on. That's the manifestation right there.
There you go.
But yeah, it's the thing right there where part of it is figuring out and what you want to do. Because again, I can't tell you how many countless of times I've seen creators say, "Oh, what should I do?" Or if you have to go to other people on a different platforms, ask them what to do because you're worried about views, whatever, then you're not asking the most important person that question. You. That's the most important person you should be asking that question to, is you. Yeah. Instead of going out to the internet and trying to get that feel, ask yourself why. Why aren't my numbers? Why aren't this? Why aren't that? And then just kind of dissect it. Take it by bits. You don't have to eat it all at once. Just
take a look at your calendar.
Yeah. And take a look at whatever. My goal is to make my $2 on Rumble someday. My dreams will come true someday. Someone get this man a collection plate. But yeah, I think people miss the most important step, and that's asking themselves that question instead of asking the internet that question, because then it just becomes whatever the internet tells you, right? Do you create what the internet wants, or do you create the content you enjoy? And some people come along and they enjoy it with you, and then sooner or later you get this influx of just a weird sorts of people, and you build this community thing, and you have fun, and it becomes a great time. Because again, we're all, as Pudge said, we're all on finite. We're all on the clock. Like, it doesn't matter if you think you're clocked in or not. We're all on the clock, and when you clock, you sort of know when you clocked in, but you'll never know when you clock out.
Yep.
So, which if I'm at 179, I believe in myself. There you go. Keep going for a half pine. I believe me too. Be better than the other guy or fill a gap in content. I mean, that's what I did with this, is because I didn't see a lot of content creators just invite people on, whether they're a creator or not, and just have conversations. And I'm not going to say that's foolproof, because there's always someone else. But for me, I try to make it multifold. I don't make it just one point. I make it multiple points. Okay, so why do I do this? I get to talk to multiple different people. They're a creator, they're not a creator, they're a big creator. It doesn't matter. They're multiple people, and also I get to have them on again, right? Because the conversation doesn't have to end at one point, and that's it. Because that feels kind of cheated out, unless it's like someone you had a bad experience with, and that's a little different. I'll never have a bad experience with you, though. Not yet, anyway, until you push me off, and that's that'll be a fight I don't want to have. Yeah, but it's just a joy in this creation. And again, we both have different perspectives how this thing goes, because you have experience, I do not. I do this thing because, yeah, I've made some money off it. Okay. But I do this because of the people I get to meet and the fun I get to have with it. That's it. I already have a full-time job. Right? Yeah. I already have a full-time job. I'm not in this for the money, but I am in this to do the thing I didn't see happening with other content creators, or at least the ones I followed. I'm not saying you, but there were other content creators I followed on YouTube, and they were really just talking about movies and all this stuff, and that's fine, right? But they're connected to the biggest resource they'll ever have, and they don't tap into that very often, other than going to meet at cons and going to meetups. But not everyone can afford that, but they can afford to sit in front of their screen for about an hour or so, and all that. Well, if they can get to the internet or the phone, whatever connection they can have. I have studied smithing channels on mobile ad nauseum. Becoming the best on mobile isn't entirely out of reach. See, there you go. Learn from others. Learn from the mistakes of others. I've said that too with content creators who get into this drama thing, right? The drama tubers or whatever it is. These people that get into drama are why? Why, right? Why would you get into drama when you just create, just have fun with this? If some other content creator comes after you and calls you a dumb name, well then, okay, and then keep moving on.
Will do that to me a lot.
Look at him. He's got broad shoulders and a strong six-pack. I mean, come
on. Look, man, you're going to get flagged for fake news.
Okay, downgrade to 4-pack, but that's all I'm going to go. But you see that as well, and it doesn't do anything. A lot of content creators I saw from YouTube do that same sort of thing. We're just like, why? Why are you following this route where it doesn't make sense to you? I get there's clicks, there's views, there's all that sort of stuff in the negative news, but it doesn't make sense to chase this rainbow because you aren't creating. You're just debilitating. Maybe that's a bad word. Or you're just being shy at what you do. You're just creating shite crap, and people just follow you because of the drama stuff. And once it goes away, right? Where are you left with? Yep. It's just a dumb thing I kept seeing. But at the end of the day, I can't control them. I can tell them they're stupid, but I might as well make something that people can at least a more positive notion.
Yeah.
And go from there, because again, what you do with content creation is you, all on you, right? You got tools out there you can use to help create it. Like, I'm using Rumble Studios, which is free for everyone to use, and the multiple platforms it goes to. Because if you're to look at the other, would it be fair to say video streaming platforms like StreamYards and Restream and all those, you have to pay to get past a certain amount, right? 2 different links, 3 different links, 4 different links. You have to pay a monthly to get there. Rumble provides all that for free. Other than the watermark, which that's part of the premium. Which I do the pro package, which was before the premium.
Right.
But yeah, it's just when you pay attention to things, you start asking yourselves the question, like, do I really want to be a content creator if this is what it becomes?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the stuff you learn. But anyway, what other things do you have in the work, or are you just sticking with what you do now?
Well, I've been off and on with the church streams. I am really, really optimistic about bringing my church to the platform. And, I think that they have an opportunity to be first as far as good church content on the platform. There is some church content on the platform, but it's trash and super culty and kind of creepy. So that is something that I'm still trying to schedule out. I'm still trying to figure out my weekly evening schedules and how I want to format my week going forward. I think towards the end of this year, I'll be able to settle a little bit more out. But I've got a few games that I'm going to be bringing in that I can't think of off the top of my head.
Right.
Starting next year, beginning of next year, Zex 588, one of my committed chatters, bought me the DLC for Elden Ring. And he hates me. So I have to play that.
Oh, it's funny. That's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah, but I don't remember if I said this last night. I am going to be playing on controller, so it's going to be a lot better than this mouse and keyboard trash that we saw for the last 300 hours.
Yeah,
other than that, just working on some behind the scenes stuff, getting things really just straightened out. Nothing too epic.
Yeah, I've played controller on for Elden Ring, but Elden Ring and me do not get well because I'm usually just farming to get up there.
Yeah.
So it can be a dismay. Of course, I saw some of your stream. I stopped at one point and you were trying to farm that rolling stone, I think it was.
Yeah.
And you kept getting hit a bit. So
yeah, it was annoying.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You live and learn.
That's right.
Let's remove a play button. They do have the totem pole, which I believe a few people have already. But they have a totem pole. And it's for 100,000, isn't it? The totem pole.
It is 100,000. Yes, the Rumble statue is 100,000. There now. I'll say this again. I speak in absolutes, but there are nuances.
Yes.
There are creators like Matt Coors that was given his Rumble statue at 69,420. That's a true story.
Jeez.
He does not have currently 100,000 followers. So anybody that sees that Rumble statue in his stream and wants to know that discrepancy, I had him on my show and he told me about that. So yeah, 100,000. Well, I mean, what's the play button for YouTube? Is that 100?
I think it is 100,000. The first one is silver, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the first one is silver. I think the gold one is $1 million.
Yes.
And then platinum for 10, or is it? I don't know.
I think it's diamond.
Or maybe
diamond is for 10.
Okay. You see, I don't even know. YouTube's super gay. So sorry, I keep forgetting you're on
You're
on
fine.
YouTube.
Don't worry about it.
But yeah, that 100,000. I would agree with that. I wish that there were there, and I think that somebody had said this, but I'll say it again. There needs to be some sort of gamification of this process, prizes, incentives, somehow. And I think that they're working on that. Based on what I'm seeing, and like you've said, I've been in the business, so I can see signs a lot better than people that haven't been in the business.
Right. You can be the current. Yeah.
I can look at what they're doing and tell you based on the outcome that they're doing things that are progressing towards the outcome you guys are looking for. So just be patient.
Right.
Just be patient.
Yeah, it's hey Dexter, how are you? Yeah, it's the now what for the gamification part of the prizes whatnot, what would you say would be what you would be looking for that round? Or at least for example from your end, what would be like the prizes and stuff you're kind of
I don't know. I think that that is a good way to a good, easy, inexpensive, low maintenance way to foster, to begin a community and to test engagement, to test desire for a product or a feature or something like that, to gamify it and speak to the nature of people that like they want to win prizes, they want to win, they want to be better and progress, they want to get stuff. So if you can gamify it somehow into incentivizing people to do it beyond their own motivation, then I think that might be a smart direction for Rumble to go.
Right.
For sure.
Right. Because again, you can read the current, as it were, because you know the signs. So my question,
like lots of people can too, by the way.
Well,
I don't want anybody coming back and be like, "Oh, Pudge, he's
right." No,
better than everybody." I just don't want other people doing that.
Right. No. I wouldn't want that to happen to you either. It's just you're probably maybe Lumpy, but you're probably the only person I know experience-wise that has what you has. I've not talked to like millions of people. Don't get me wrong. I'd probably be dead by then. But I'm gonna try. So then my all I want is an audience and freedom from censorship. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people want to earn from that and an audience. And I think part of that is going to be the recommendation engine, because again, we're still at the political only viewpoint. But that's going to be something. And then of course, the gaming thing that was just created, the Twitter X thing that's created, could help do that for that. But my question, there was one question I had, was the thing that came out from Chris not too long ago about the revisioning and revamping of said creator thing. I'm not going to call it partner program because I don't think he's wanting to go with that, but that whole creator thing he was talking about. What do you think about that?
A lot of us said this from the very beginning, that it should have been this to begin with.
Okay.
I think that the first one, I think, was a good way for them to feel out the environment. The second one seemed like it was just kind of I don't even know what I would call it, but just kind of like, okay, you guys want it. It worked before, and we'll expand it. And not really, there was no plan, no strategy behind what they were doing.
Yeah.
So, the second one was not anywhere near as great as the first one.
Yeah.
Especially as far as growth and exposure. Neither of them were good for growth and exposure at all for the general creator. Sure, we got a few numbers, but no real engagement, no real features or anything like that. Sure, in the second one, we got that landing page that nobody fucking clicked on except for all 100 of us.
Right.
I don't think any of that did any good. But I do believe that both of those situations were learning opportunities for Rumble if they're smart.
Yeah.
So, I think that there is a really, really good way to go about doing that program. I don't know if a high volume is the way to do it. I guess if you got enough money, a high volume is the way to do it. But we saw before that a lot of money didn't fix your problem.
Yeah, because it was what, 50,000 was the last time, I think, was the total.
Something like that. Yeah, they were both the same.
Okay.
Well, that's not true because it was 100 creators this time, or the second time.
Yeah. So, because as far as I noticed, he's going to be involved with it. That's what was said.
Sure.
He's going to try to, at least from what was said in that post, of trying to revision and change up. But what would you think? They really didn't give a value of what is considered a small creator. So, from your perspective, what would you consider to be a small creator?
Under 5,000. I don't think that he specified small creators in that post, though.
Okay. Yeah, because I've heard that too, for a definition as for small creators, like under 5,000.
In the social media industry, typically below 5,000 is considered a micro creator. A small creator would be under 10,000.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
so you probably should put like a list outside. So this is how they need to see 5,000, 10,000. How many are above 5K? I don't know that. I have no idea. I mean, you could have crowders up above 5. I mean, there's a lot of
None of the gamers.
yeah. No, okay. So none of the gamers would be. What do gamers want most from a video platform? I think part of is what happened with the Silver Fox video, and the outcome from that. I think that's part of what they wanted. Now with the creator program that he's going to try to do, we'll see what that comes out of that. But that's reading the signs and all that stuff. But yeah, so 5K is a very hard bar. Yeah, I mean it is, but when you reach a certain point, you're no longer a small creator, right? Like I would think a level at a point once you hit it, you're no longer small or whatever. I'm gonna joke about micro creator again. Micro creator. There you go. See, that's why you talk to someone like Pudge, because he's got the skills to pay the bills. All right, that's how you do it. Or
5K is a high bar. That's right.
Yeah.
Now, and again, Chris did not specify
yes,
small
Chris didn't
creators,
specify.
and in the context of Rumble, we're not using those metrics. Like what I was talking about in the context of the industry of social media and influencer things like that. When I said 5,000 is micro, 3 to 5 is micro, and under 10 is small creators. You can't have those conversations when you're in that context when you're talking about Rumble. It's not the same.
Right.
Now, for Rumble, small creator under I would consider a small creator on Rumble, especially in the gaming section, under 2,000.
Yeah. There's a few of you that are 2,000 or more.
Right. Yeah. And and I think that's kind of high.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of low. Maybe 2,500. You can't just get so low that anybody can do it. Because that's the thing. If anybody can do it, then everybody fucking would do it.
Yeah. And some of them are, and some people that follow, or not people, but some that follow are not people. Some of them are bot things.
Yeah.
I've had to happen.
Right.
Hey, Cyber Mario.
You have to have kind of a high threshold.
Yeah, threshold. Yeah. Plus, it gets people to want to push further, so to speak. 1,000 always talking, right? Yeah. I've seen that. I've seen when I do my pay it forward, right? You run my pay it forward. Sometimes you will see those streams where almost bottish in a sense, or you got 24/7 streams out there, or they don't label themselves 24/7 streams and all that stuff. Bots are the devil. Well, bots are a lot of things, and I know I've heard a lot of complaints that on Kick that it's mostly bottish, but it still does what it does. Small creator 500. I mean, again, it I would say even at 1,000, because 1,000 seems more. It seems more likely than 2,000 or 2,500, which you gave an example of, right? Not as a definition, but an example. So there's that too, and not a lot of people are at 1,000 either. It just varies beyond the scope, and that'd be interesting to see what the variance of data is doing on that. Sure. But yeah, definitely there are a lot of things that a lot of people want added. Again, gifted subs, channel points, all that. Those are things that people want because they've seen it on other platforms, right? And of course, the big complaint is going to be seeing what the platforms are at now, right? And wanting those things of now rather than just build up to it. Because you try to copy paste that stuff, it's not gonna make Rumble any different. It's just gonna make it like everyone else, and you don't want Rumble to be like everyone else,
right?
Because then you're gonna run into trouble of not being on Rumble anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And Dash says prime example of why Rumble will need to set goals for everything Rumble does. Have to be able to define and measure it. I guess that would be on the data side of things. I mean, more for them than for us, but as you just heard Pudge talk earlier about the value a creator brings to a platform and all that stuff. So if you didn't see that, go back over and you'll feel the full force of the mighty Pudge. But he's a great guy all around. And again, I don't take it personally. I take it as a learning experience, because if you don't learn, how it's G.I. Joe, right? Learning is half the battle. Well, all that stuff. Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Although I'm not a G.I. Joe person, it just was stuck. So all right. Oh, I will. But anyway, so it's about the 2 hour mark, and we're gonna set it off there because again, Pudge has. I have to get up in the morning, and I certainly have to get tomorrow's stream set up, and of course, Pudge has his own thing too. So, but I do thank you, sir, for giving me your time, because that's the most important part we have, the non-replaceable time, and I appreciate it, Sam. Third time, and the man still looks as young as ever. That's what I'll do.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate you having me on.
You're welcome. And of course, before we go, a few things. First is promoting yourself. So, sir, you know how to do it. I know how you do it. Just go ahead and do it.
Thank you. I am PudgeTV. I'm making all kinds of content and shit show material here on Rumble, playing video games, dying a lot, and people like my man Dara here and others. So join me on PudgeTV. I keep everything there on that one channel and just have different shows. So I'll see you guys out there. Thanks, Dara.
Yeah, no, thank you. And yeah, it kind of gets confusing when you have people do multiple channels. And I know some still have that issue with channels, the user channel thing. Obviously, that will be something I know they've talked about trying to make a workaround for, but we'll see how that goes. And of course, guys, whether you're on Rumble, whether you're on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing, leaving a follow, leaving a comment, any or all of it doesn't matter. What matters is helping with the engagement factor, because again, the engagement helps me being seen more on either platform, right? But it also helps in leading to having many different variety of people on, whether they're a creator or whether they're not a creator. And the point of doing all this is to have conversations across the table and maybe learn something, maybe get past their bias, a whole array of stuff. But the point of the matter is not to take such a, what you see with the social media political thing, right? Where people just bark at each other. Is to sit at the table, have a conversation with each other, and disagree, agree, doesn't matter. We're at least willing to come to the conversation at the table and enjoy it. So if you guys wouldn't mind helping with the engagement factor, I appreciate it. And of course, if you want to see where else I'm at, like with stupid me, like with Pudge's stuff down below, I might have a link there. Go and check my other stuff out. I'm on Twitter X. I have an email. I have Discord, and I also have the links to my both Rumble and YouTube. And you can find me there. If you'd like to take up the opportunity, like Pudge, like UB Legend, like Christian Sass, like so many others have, you can either leave a comment on either YouTube or Rumble, or go to the link below and find me at those other places. Because again, I'm looking forward to the rest of this month and the months beyond, because there are so many people, creator or not, so many people, and there's not enough time today to do it. I wish it was enough for me to do it full time, but I'm just going to take it one day at a time and enjoy it as is. So thank you all for that. Again, engagement and the link down below. All's well. And of course, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, I will have on the lovely Yarn Witch, who's been on before. She's a lady who does she dyes her own yarn. She does a bunch of other stuff too. She's a great lady. She doesn't show her face, but the point of the matter is that she's one of the great ones. And of course, she's someone who I met through Tommy and all that. So that'll be great as well. So come for that. But of course, now last time you were to hear, I didn't have this, but this time I have something. It's called Questions from a Hat. Now, of course, I bought a hat from Rumble, right? And I put a bunch of questions in it. So what's going to happen is you get two freebies. And if people want more questions out of the hat, right? If people want more questions out of the hat for the guests, then I got to give a Rumble rant. I mean, it doesn't matter the amount. It doesn't matter. I'm not monetizing YouTube, so there's no point in that. But because Mr. Or Dashboard gave a rant, you have 3 questions. Okay. So I'm going to try to get to those. All right. So I'm going to pull a question in the hat, and they're a question that anyone can answer. It won't be like, how do you like picking your nose or whatnot? That's not a question I want to ask. I don't. Would you?
Not ashamed.
I used to eat them as a kid. That's all right. Okay. First question is, what's the most absurd thing you believed as when you were a child or when you were a kid?
Oh, the most absurd thing that I believed as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what kind of stuff did I believe? So when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
I used to think that people whispered by going up to each other and going like this. So that's what I would do. I thought that's how people actually whispered secrets.
At least,
and I was confused why people didn't understand what I was saying.
What's wrong with this kid?
Oh yeah. Well.
At least it wasn't like in Charlie Brown where you believed all the adults spoke like that.
I know, right?
That would have been the funny part. All right. Here's question number 2.
Okay.
Let's see what it says. And it says, what's your least favorite color and why?
My least favorite color?
Mm-hmm.
My least favorite color would probably have to be red because it's angry.
Thanks.
Because I'm wearing this red shirt.
And you have a red toolbox and you have a bunch of red stuff in the background.
That's why I surround myself in blue, because blue and red is purple, and purple is royalty.
Oh, high and mighty are we?
I just came up with that. It just kind of fell out of my head. I didn't know what I was going to say.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. You give a question back. I mean, it's really a hard one to give, especially if you like all the colors. Like you look at a rainbow, like, oh, that's nice.
No, rainbows are gay. Fuck red.
Hey. All right, last one. Since no one else is giving a rant. All right,
don't look at the sun anymore, dashboard.
That would play a big part. That would play a big part.
That one you get for free. You don't even have to rant for that one.
Why do my eyes hurt so bad? Are you looking at the sun? Oh!
Yeah. I'm fucking staring at the sun.
All right, here we go. What's a skill you've always wanted to learn but haven't yet?
Pogo stick jumping, actually.
Really?
And had I not been yard sailing this weekend, I probably would not have given that answer. But I saw a pogo stick on the ground at a local garage sale, and I was like, man, I wish I would have learned how to do that so that I would be confident to do it at my current stature and size, because now I'm like 275, so like a pogo stick would not be a great idea. I'm pretty sure I would break most of them that are not industrially built. I'm a big guy, right. So let's see what's something a little bit more real than a pogo stick. What would I have said before today?
Yeah.
What would I have said before today?
You can stick with that one too.
These questions are always so hard because you always look back and man, everything I did made me who I am. I guess I kind of wish I would have done better at learning how to create videos, because I didn't learn how to do that until later in life. So it's been much harder to like put time in as I've been an adult, because the creative stuff takes so much time and practice and equipment to be able to process the high quality stuff you want to do. And man, you got to become an adult before you can get all this stuff.
And just a quick, because I use programs that kind of help with, so I make shorts from the streams that I have people on, and I've done one with you, I've done with many others, but I use Opus.pro to kind of do that, because it is an easy. Now you still have to do some manual editing and stuff, because there are times where the words get wrong or it misses something, so there is that. But the joy of it is, it can be a little faster than doing the old-fashioned way, right? You use a program like Da Vinci or whatever, and it can take you hours upon hours, where this can take you think the longest one has taken me is like 30 to 45 minutes at least, because it's just
nice.
you want to give it at least some best to it. Like, again, I put both my shorts on Rumble and YouTube, and I do use YouTube's tagging system to try to be my benefit, because again, I am sharing these people I've had on with everyone else, and there may be something that someone, whatever, can see in this stream and say, hey, I agree to that, or that guy has somewhat of my same perspective. That's what I want to share from that. And there's so many people, it's not even funny. But anyway, guys, thank you again, everyone, for being here. And again, thank you, Pudge, so much. Always, 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 you are welcome to come back. I know you were a busy guy, and we kind of, the first time I tried, I had to do it another time, but I'm so glad I get to have you on again. And there's always room for more, because, dude, you are a running train. Just don't run me over. But anyway, guys, again, do not forget 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. I know some people are in Pacific, some people are Mountain, but I am on the Eastern side, so I say that for that. So anyway, guys, as we always do, I end out with One Day With You by Pogo. Hope to see you all tomorrow, and have a great night. Bye, guys.
Later.